Hi, everyone. This is Rob Palowitz, President and CEO of Paulo Creative, and welcome to your Game Plan for Growth. Today, we have Joe Rzonsa from the Blue Wolf Tavern and Blue Wolf Event Center joining us to talk about how he's had to adjust his business during this pandemic. Today, I'm happy to welcome Joe Rzonsa. He is the owner of Blue Wolf Tavern and Event Center here in the Youngstown area and a longtime friend and client to Paulo Creative. So, Joe, thanks for taking the time to join me on today's episode of the Game Plan for Growth.
You're welcome, Rob. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So, Joe, with the whole coronavirus that happened to us here, no one could have assumed or thought or imagined we'd be in this kind of position with not only our lives but also with our businesses. And being this is a business, business show, business program that I'm trying to put together, or we've had together and discussed numerous topics. I wanted to discuss this hot item, and it's the coronavirus and the mandates that we've had to deal with, not only from a local, state, but a federal government level. What have you done with your business? How have you reacted with your business to deal with this coronavirus and the mandates?
Sure. Well, that's a question that you have to think back about 10 weeks in order to answer now, because it really has been that long, and it almost feels surreal at this point to think that we've been through this for as long as we have. But recalling back to, I think it was right around March 15th when Governor DeWine came across the screens on television, talking about what was going to happen here with the state of emergency that was being declared. It was a Sunday afternoon, and we had a full house here. We were serving lunch, we were serving dinner. We had some folks at the bar, and we were watching sports. And it was expected, but at the same time it was unexpected. Like I said, it was kind of surreal. And we immediately went into a plan of action, trying to decide what we were going to do. We reached out to other local independent restaurants, to find out, what some of their thoughts were. And like we always do in Youngstown and Mahoning Valley, is the independents kind of stick together. We all know each other, and it was something that nobody really had an answer for. The closest thing any of us could relate to with this whole scenario was 9/11, and that was almost 20 years ago now. But we immediately decided that we were going to remain open and follow the guidelines that Governor DeWine and Director of Health Dr. Acton had put in place for us, and we very quickly came up with a makeshift plan to transition into carry out only. Unfortunately, the other side of our business, like in the introduction, was the event side. That got shut down immediately and is still in hiatus. So we focused primarily on the restaurant here on Boardman Canfield Road in Boardman, and we have effectively transitioned into a carry out only venue. The first couple of weeks were very difficult, and I think it was primarily because everybody was in a holding pattern. Nobody really knew what was going to happen, how long it was going to last, and there was a lot of local independent guys that said, you know what, we're going to take advantage of this. Well, maybe not advantage, but we're going to take this opportunity to maybe do a remodeling project or take a couple weeks off of well-deserved and much-needed rest, give the employees a little break. Whatever their decision was, there was a reason behind it. But I don't think anybody really thought that it was going to hit the time frame that we're looking at right now. And I didn't know either, but I knew that our overhead and our cash flow and our operating budget required us to remain open and do our best at continuing to do some business, and that's what we did. But the first couple of weeks was tremendously difficult until I think it kind of settled in as the new reality, or at least the temporary reality, and people started coming out and getting carry out from us. So it was.
Yeah, do you feel that was like the biggest and smartest decision you made then, was to remain open and not be quick to maybe get frustrated with the whole situation and having to resort to only carry out, but rather you embraced it, tried to work on your own internal systems to have a good buyer's experience than happening at your restaurant. Obviously you already had carry out and a pretty organized setup there, but now it's more like, it's got to be like clockwork.
It
So
was
you feel
the
like that's the best decision to stay?
I believe that it was the right decision. My staff members were grateful for that decision. Out of the 65 employees that we have here at Blue Wolf Tavern, we were able to keep on about 45 of them.
Yeah.
And that was mostly by choice. Some of them opted to not continue with us through this pandemic and through this crisis. And of course, we respected that. Some people, take care of their parents. Some people have small children and don't have daycare solutions. And we're absolutely understanding of all those different scenarios. But for the most part, a majority of the employees wanted to stay on with us, even if it was only a day or two a week.
Mhm.
A lot of them, were eligible for unemployment. Some of them got it, some of them didn't. So I think that for the most part, everybody was pleased with our decision. The community has been very supportive. After the first couple of, like I said, the first couple of weeks, especially the first week, we were looking at numbers that were um, horrifying.
Right.
Revenue numbers that were just like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? That there's no way that we can continue doing this for more than a couple of weeks. We're losing thousands of dollars a day, and when do we say enough is enough? And then at one point, 10 or 12 days into the whole thing, I'm not sure what it was that happened. I know that you guys, Paulo Creative, were instrumental in helping us come up with some promotional ideas and getting out the word on what we were doing to continue to offer our product and services in a safe and effective manner. It was part of it. We also did a tremendous number of meals for all the 4 local hospitals, nursing homes, first responders, fire departments, police departments. Uh, in the thousands, we're doing about probably between 800 and 1,000 meals a week for the hospitals,
Wow.
and we hospitals, first responders, and nursing homes, and that has been received so well. People are so grateful, so appreciative, and I believe that that has helped our business grow through this, because people give back when they feel appreciated, when they feel thanked, when they feel like you're doing something to help them out and give back a little bit to the community that's so supportive toward you for 20 years. They
Right.
want to continue to support you, and that was one of the best decisions that we've made through this whole thing, and we're happy to do it because we've been supported for so long by so many great people in this community, and all these people on the front lines are just amazing with what they've done. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, seeing that and hearing that, when you're faced with a situation where you don't have the paying business, but yet you're giving free meals away. For any like yourself or any restaurant here in town doing that. I really applaud that. I mean, it's really awesome that you take that to heart to try and help
sure,
that way, and then also then the local and loyal fans see that and look to reciprocate by ordering the carry out as much as they can, and supporting again a local business that's been here for a long time, and will be here for a long time. So that's really great you guys did that. Do you feel like this is going to change your business model at all, with how moving forward with things? I mean, obviously the new norm, we don't know what that's really going to be just yet. It's still, trying to, it'll,
yeah, sure. That my emotional connection to my business and to our history, being that we have so many years under our belt, is that I don't want it to change. We're all anxious and nostalgic to get back to what we've done well for so long. Uh,
right,
but the sensible business side of everything, in our opinion, in my opinion, is that I don't know if that's possible or practical at this point, and there are going to have to be some adjustments made. I believe that you know the carry out and the delivery aspects of what we transitioned into are definitely going to have a larger percentage of our revenue
Right.
moving forward for years, if not longer, if not indefinitely. The we were set up to do in-house dining. We can accommodate 250 people here in the dining rooms and in the bar, and we still did probably about 15% of our business out of the carryout area. Now, once March 17th rolled or March 15th rolled around, and they said, okay, carry out and delivery only, we slowly moved into about 80%. We were doing about 75 to 80% this past week of what we did in food sales before this whole crisis happened.
Wow.
So we're able to do it now. We've got great systems in place. We have a staff that knows what to do, but it's not what we want to do.
Right.
So we're hoping that we can get back to doing what we want to do, what we love to do, what we know we're best at doing. But we can't ignore the fact that some of our market just isn't going to respond to that as often or at all, at this point.
Right.
So we don't want to exclude them. We live in a small town and there's a lot of great restaurants, and if we excluded them, that would be irresponsible from a business perspective. So we know that we need to do the carry out well moving forward, and we're planning on continuing to be innovative when it comes to that.
Well, rounding out our discussion here, one kind of final question I have for you is, and you mentioned, as far as marketing tactics, doing the free meals, that's a great thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel that Paulo Creative has done for you to help grow your business that you like that we do for you as well?
Well, I like having a point man in our personal representative, Jonathan Elias. I think that he's never more than a phone call away. As a matter of fact, I used to apologize to him all the time because rather than use the company phone to his office, I would always call him on his cell phone. And every time he would answer, I would say, "John, I'm sorry for bothering you on your cell phone. I don't like that company phone, And he's like, "No, it's okay, it's okay." And he would, no matter what time it was, he would answer. And sometimes I would call, and then I'd look at the clock, and it's 7 o'clock, and I'm like, "Oh, he's not at the office now. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but probably not." And through this thing, working from home, he's been even more attentive to everything that we've done. And I've called him in the 11th hour for a special event, item like Cinco de Mayo or Easter, like we're going to do this now. We just thought of that, or what can you suggest for getting the word out on what kind of specialty drinks we're doing now that the governor has allowed us to do carry out cocktails. And he's had all kinds of great trendy and innovative ideas to help us really get our message out. And we during this time, it's been exponentially appreciated for sure. And we've been with you guys. I don't know if it was 2007, 2008, and I remember it was back when I had a couple of partners, and we had to kind of vote on what we were going to do. And I said, listen, I want Paulo Creative to handle our advertising. We were trying to do it in house, and it wasn't working. We couldn't be happier with how you guys have contributed and to the success of our businesses over the years. And we wouldn't be where we're at without your help and your team and most recently with Jonathan, for sure. So they've done a great job. And through this working from home, I know your whole team is working from home. They've been very reachable, and they've been very available, and they've been more than accommodating. So I can't imagine that it's any easier for you guys to do this, than it is for us to transition through this as well. So kudos to you.
We appreciate that. We, again, we're all about having the relationships, long-standing relationships with our clients that, obviously we like to call our friends too. So
sure.
We do appreciate that business and that support, and then also that loyalty. We always got your back, and we appreciate you coming and spending time with us here, talking about some business and things that we face. So, to future success. And I definitely thank you for taking the time, and we'll wrap it up here. So we want to thank, I'm going to go ahead first and thank all our first responders and healthcare workers and drivers and grocery store folks. We definitely want to thank you for doing what you do for us. Joe, if you want to say any last thank yous as well.
Absolutely. And the appreciation goes. We can't say enough about it, because not only have they put themselves at risk doing what they do, but they're the backbone of our community, and they're the ones that are really making things happen out there, and we're happy to have the relationship that we have with them, and we're happy to have them in our community, and whatever we can do to give back a little bit, we want to keep doing, and we're happy to be where we're at.
And this is your coach, Rob Palowitz. As always, thanks for watching the Game Plan for Growth show, and stay tuned for our next episode as we share with you the playbook to growing your business.